What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a breakdown of the brand newly announced Fortnite dungeon, being the legendary shipbuilding company Tom's Workers. And this Fortnite's actually pretty interesting. It introduces a new 6-star legend skill book that for all of you guys out there that are lucky enough to have this legend, you can go ahead and try and skill him up. And it is definitely a skill that you definitely want to try and max out if you have this unit. But before we get into today's video, guys, if you guys do go on to enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below, as it's always greatly appreciated. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. So as we like to do, guys, let's go ahead and break down the units of this brand new Fortnite dungeon. And the boss of this dungeon is the legendary shipwright Tom from Tom's Workers. Now, this guy is a 4-star unit that does also drop as a 3-star unit, and you evolve him at like level 50, I believe. And this guy here is a Dex fighter powerhouse character, and his stats at level 99 are pretty decent, I guess. You know, he's got 2200 health, 1029 attack, and 266 recovery. Now, he does have 20 cost and 2 socket spots as well. Now, let's move on to his effects. So, this guy's captain effect will boost the attack of all characters by 2 times if your HP is below 30% at the start of the turn. So, this guy's captain effect is pretty bad. Just, there's no use for it whatsoever. Very, very bad captain effect. However, his special is kind of interesting. And it is very comparable to sort of like Perona, because it has so many different adverse effects. And we'll go through, we'll break down it right now. So it starts at 25 turns and maxes at 16 turns. But what it does is it, number 1, reduces despair duration by 5 turns. It will also boost the attack of all characters by 5% for 3 turns. It will also reduce damage received by 10% for 3 turns. It will then also amplify the effects of orbs by 1.15 for 3 turns, and then recover 2 times this character's recovery in HP at the end of each turn for 3 turns. So, this special is crazy. You're getting despair reduction, you're getting an attack boost for all your characters, you're getting reduced damage for all your characters, you're getting an amplification of orbs, and you're also getting recovery back for 3 turns as well. The only thing is that all of these, like, different multipliers for all of these specials are very, very low. Like, you're only getting a 5% attack boost, you're getting damage reduction by 10%, you're getting an orb boost by 1.15, and you're getting only 2 times his recovery, which at max, you know, you're going to be getting maybe 500 back. So, overall, this guy's special is really good, but it's kind of not good. You know, it would be really good if, like, all these effects were a little bit of a higher multiplier, but honestly, that would be kind of broken. But overall, like, you wouldn't really use this unit that much. His special, you know, reducing despair duration by 5 turns is actually pretty cool, but then you do have all these other effects that do happen, and while those other effects are in play, you can't activate other orb boosts or other type boosts. So it does really restrict you with this unit, and is probably, you know, not a very good unit to use in a team. But if you guys are just starting out, perhaps this guy might be really, really good for all of your starting teams. Next, let's go ahead and look over Iceberg from Tom's Workers. So this guy is a 3-star unit and is the miniature boss in this Fortnite dungeon, and he is a quick striker cerebral type character, and at max level, at level 70, he has just over 1000 health, or nearly 1100 health. For his attack power, it's nearly 700, and his recovery is just over 200, so some pretty average stats, nothing too great. Now, he does have 2 socket spots, and he does have a cost of 13, so obviously, you know, anything in, or mostly anything in a Fortnite can be used in the Sengoku team, so that's pretty cool. Now, you have a captain effect here that will boost the attack of striker and cerebral characters by 1.5 times. Not a very good captain effect in the grand scheme of things. And his special, which starts at 19 turns and maxes at 10 turns, will change the top right orb into Dex, the middle right into Strength, and the bottom right into Quick. This is actually pretty interesting because he's actually a cerebral unit, and this special can actually be used pretty well in a 6-star crocodile team. It's just the fact that you have guys like Heracles, which are just so much better, and there's no point to really use this special. But if you guys are just starting out and maybe have a 6-star crocodile and you pick up this unit, he might be really good for your crocodile teams. But overall, he's really not that great. He doesn't have that many good uses overall, so not a very good unit in my opinion. Alright, let's go ahead and break down the hidden boss in this Fortnite dungeon, being Cutty Flam of Tom's Workers. And this guy here is a 3-star unit and is a strength shooter-driven character, and at level 70 he has 924 health, 932 attack, and 139 recovery, with 13 cost and 2 socket spots, very similar to Iceberg previously, and his captain effect will boost the attack of shooters by 1.75, so not a very good captain effect. You know, there's just, as I said before, there's just a whole bunch of units that are just better. And his special, which starts at 25 turns and maxes at 12 turns, deals 5 hits of random strength damage to random enemies, and also reduces the defense of all enemies by 50% for 2 turns. So this is a kind of special that actually can be used. Defense reduction is actually very, very useful. Just the fact that, you know, there just are other better units, like even previously, in the previous Fortnite where we had Nami and Lola just is a better unit in this situation than what Cutty Flam is. So overall, you know, Cutty Flam isn't really that great. You know, there's just, as I mentioned, there's just a whole bunch of units that do his job but better. So not a very good unit in my personal opinion as well in this Fortnite dungeon. So now let's go ahead and break down the actual dungeon itself, but before we do that, let's go ahead and have a look at the condition for this Fortnite dungeon, which states that you can only bring Striker and Free Spirit characters. It means that, you know, you obviously cannot just bring Strikers that are also Free Spirits, but it can be either Strikers or Free Spirit characters. So that opens up, you know, a lot of different teams that you could potentially bring. But now let's move on now to stages 1 to 5. So stages 1 to 5, there isn't really anything too special, just random units really. There's just boosters, evolvers, and pirates. Nothing really too special. No, nothing really happens within these first 5 stages, but I just thought I'd bring you this just to make sure you guys are prepared for the first 5 stages. This is where you're going to be predominantly doing all of your stalling for your specials, if you do need to stall for specials, that is, in this Fortnite dungeon. Next, we're going to move on to stage 6, the second last room before you reach the final stage of the dungeon. And on stage 6, you'll actually encounter Iceberg, and also he is surrounded by some various attributes pirates. Now, Iceberg himself has approximately 239,000 health, and he will attack you every 2 turns for 4,002 damage, so he's actually pretty strong. And all of the pirates, if they get a chance to attack you, they're just going to go ahead and lock a unit that they are weak to. So you probably want to target those guys first before you target Iceberg, because Iceberg himself only 239,000 health, and a lot of teams can do that in a single turn. So I really wouldn't worry about that too much as long as you have the right units. But you definitely don't want to get locked by these guys. And if they don't lock you, like if you don't have any units that they're weak to or anything like that on your team, then they'll just go ahead and attack you for 1900 damage. So, you know, maybe you want to do that if you have, you know, enough health to tank it. So that's pretty good as well. He does have an ability, Iceberg, that if he falls below 20% HP, he'll activate like a survivalist buff where he doesn't die for the next 3 turns, and even if you put him under 20% and he's not attacking that turn, he will still activate that ability where he won't die for 3 turns. So you do have to be very, very careful about that. I know a lot of people will just go ahead and use Golden Pound Usopp or whatever, and then they can just take their time in taking down the unit, but in this situation, you do have to be very careful. As I said, you know, even if he's not attacking, he will activate that debuff. So you do have to be very, very careful about that. Now let's go ahead and break down the final stage of this Fortnite, being Tom himself. So Tom right here has approximately 630,000 health and an attack power of 12,600, and he will attack you every 3 turns. Now, he will apply a brand new sort of ability or buff or something. I don't really know what to call it exactly, but what it's called is, it's called a counter. And what happens is that for the next 2 turns, any damage that you deal to him will be dealt back to you, but 1/20th of the damage. So, you know, whatever you do to him, let's say you deal like 600,000 damage or whatever, basically what will happen is that, you know, 1/20th of 600,000 will be dealt back to you. So you'd have to be careful about that, because he'll actually do that, and he'll do his regular abilities as well on top of that counter. So once again, you know, you have to be very careful about that counter, because it is very, very difficult to get around. Now, he'll actually do an ability when he falls below 50% HP. He'll recover 5,000 HP every turn. He'll put him like a buff where he has like a recovery every single turn, and he's going to recover 5,000 every single turn. And he'll also put up a defense boost for 4 turns, and he'll buff his attack as well, and also apply a debuff protector. So, you know, when he falls below 50% health, that's when it's going to start to get difficult, especially with that defense boost. It's going to be very hard to try and take him down for that last, you know, half of his health. And if he does fall below 20%, he will recover all the way back up to 80% HP. So even if, you know, you get it so close, he'll still do it anyway. And one thing you do have to worry about is if you get him under 50% health and he activates all those abilities, And if you get him under 20%, he'll then recover back up to 80% HP, and he'll still have all those buffs as well. So, you know, if he does, you know, get that ability to unlock all of those, you know, recovery, defense, attack, and debuff protector, and also back up to 80% HP, it's going to be very, very difficult to take him down, as he does attack for 12,000 every 3 turns. So you have to be very, very careful, and I would recommend to take him down, you know, in the first 2 turns before he does the counter to you, because the counter can be a little bit difficult. So perhaps bringing a burst team, bring a lot of strength units, because that would be the most ideal way to take down Tom. Alright, now let's talk about the hidden stage for this fortnight being Little Frankie, Little Cuddy Flam. Now, this guy right here, we don't actually know what his health is. You know, I tried researching everywhere about this, and I could not find an exact health amount. So I would approximate it would be very similar to Iceberg, being 239,000. It would be around about that same value, and his attack power is 2016 with an attack cooldown of 1, so he will attack you every single turn. Now, when you actually enter the room, he will do a preemptive attack where he'll attack you for 2,000 damage, and if his HP falls below 50%, he'll buff his attack to 3,024. So, you know, once again, make sure you take him out before he falls below 50% health. Otherwise, you know, you're going to be taking a whole lot of damage. So, either bringing a team that has a lot of HP, or bring a team that is just going to deal a hell of a lot of damage to take him out before he attacks you. So now let's go ahead and break down the skill books that are going to be available to you guys that are going to be available in the Tom's Workers Fortnight. So the number one book that a lot of you guys are going to be after is the 6-star Log Luffy skill book. This is amazing. He has an amazing special. It deals random typeless damage to all enemies, as well as giving himself a strength orb, which is crazy, crazy good, because that random typeless damage is phenomenal. It does so much damage, it is crazy. And, you know, you only need 6 skill ups. However, you know, the drop rate is a little bit bad. From what I've seen, it's around about 14% drop rate. So, you know, you have to do, you know, 100 runs for 14 skill books. Apparently, that is what the drop rate is. Apparently, it's 14%. So it will be a little bit difficult to get a hold of those. Also, you have the CP9 Dex Kaku skill book. This is pretty good. He has a really, really good special that can be used, you know, against Eneru, you know, or just other quick bosses with him as a captain, because if you guys don't know what he does, it's actually very similar to Fossa, who is also has his skill books available as well, where if you use him as a captain, it doubles damage from Dex units, and with his own special, it does damage, Dex damage. So if you have double Kaku, it does 4 times Dex damage, and it does so much damage to quick bosses. So, you know, I would recommend if you guys have the CP9 Kaku to definitely try ahead and max him out, and it pretty much is the same sort of situation for Fossa, except for strength units. So he's really, really cool, you know, doubles damage from strength specials. And yeah, he's amazing to try and max out as well. Now, the other skill books here are Chaka, Cuddy Flam, and you've also got the 3 Destroyer, Spearman, Gunman, and also the Axe guy from Water 7. So if you guys have those units, you can potentially max out their skills as well. But the main ones that are notable are Log Luffy, CP9 Kaku, and Fossa. Alright, so now let's go ahead and break down a team for you guys. So the first one here that I have for you guys is just a free-to-play striker team. Now, as you can see there, the actual ship that I've got listed there is just the blue bike, which is currently available in the Forest of Training Pheasant. Now, obviously, you know, a lot of you guys might not be able to beat that, and that's fine. You can just replace that with either the Sunny or the Merry Go. So if you guys have that, you can just use it. But I would highly recommend if you guys have the striker to use it. But to be honest, if you have the ability to get the striker, you don't need to really run a free-to-play team anyway. So I'm just going to be bringing you guys this team anyway. It does have a double Aokiji, and this is really good because Aokiji will give you 2 times attack and HP to all of your striker units, and then with the double Aokiji, it becomes 4 times HP and 4 times attack to your strikers. Very, very good. You've also got Alvida and Kalgara there because they are both strikers that get the boost from Aokiji, and they're also strength units. So they're your main beat sticks against Tom himself. You've also got Crocodile, the Prison Crocodile. He's also a striker, and he does have an ability that will boost your strikers by 1.5 times for a turn. So if you guys have this Crocodile, it's actually really, really good in order to give you a lot of burst against Tom. And also because he's a blue unit, if you do come across the hidden boss in Cuddy Flam, you can use him against Cuddy Flam as well. And then you've also got Smoker for some damage reduction, just in case if you need it. Also, he's actually really, really good as a beat stick against Iceberg as well, because Iceberg is a quick unit. So Smoker's the one that you will try to, you know, use to deal the most damage against Iceberg himself. Now, as you can see, I have only listed a free-to-play team. However, there are just a whole lot of different teams that you can create, and this is some other notable leads that you can bring that are very, very good in this Fortnite. There's Log Luffy, you got Sabo, you've also got Bartolomeo, because he is, you know, one of the more recent legends, and he is a striker type unit that boosts strikers as well. So if you have Bartolomeo, definitely recommend to try and go ahead and use him, especially if you're going to use the free-to-play team. Instead of using a friend Aokiji, go ahead and bring a friend Bartolomeo. But remember, guys, if you are going to bring Bartolomeo, make sure that you have a full team of strikers, 6 strikers, otherwise you won't get the 2.75 times boost. It'll be a little bit lower, but definitely recommend Bartolomeo as the friend captain if you are going to run the free-to-play team. And he's also a strength unit, so he does a lot more damage to Tom himself. You've also got access to Ivankov as well, the Int Ivankov, who is a free spirit leader, 2.5 leader. And you've also got Verga and also Kid. Both of those guys are 2.5 leads to strikers as well. So if you guys have those guys, those are really, really good, even as sub-units as well. They both have really, really nice specials, and I highly recommend them against Tom and his workers in this Fortnite. So that is going to conclude yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.